This is crazy. I was just driving the Sludge, a completely new Truggy from Traxxas, capable of going 70 miles an hour, launching off at big jumps, and we're now going to go and review the Traxxas Bandit, a two-wheel drive brushed buggy. And I'm actually really excited about it because I used to recommend this all the time when I worked at a hobby town. They gave us demo units and I'd actually sneak out back with it and drive it around in the parking lot and just have a blast between, talking to customers. And it's just a really neat buggy to get into RC with. And that's why I recommended it a lot. But they have a new version now. You probably heard of it. It's got LED lights on there, new scheme, new wheels on it. Let's head over to the bench and take a closer look. Yep, it's a Traxxas Bandit with a few changes for 2022, and let's go over those changes. First up, we've got some new wheels on this thing. Check these out. Matte black center with a B-lock style semi-chrome ring, front and rear. Those look really cool. We've got the rib tires up front, Axis tires out back. That should provide plenty of traction for backyard bashing. Check out the new graphics on the body. Love green and blue. I don't know, something about it really just pops for me. Should look good ripping around the backyard. But the big feature here are the new LED lights. We've got a light bar up front and we've got tail lights in the rear. Check that out. That will light up red. I'll actually overlay a video so you can see that, but really excited about that because that just adds to the fun factor. Then we've got the usual stuff that we've seen before. We've got our composite plastic suspension arms, fixed upper links. We do have adjustable tie rods for the steering, oil-filled shocks. And what I like about these shocks, they have the newer caps. So the older ones could break with the way this is open up front if you rolled this thing over. So it's really nice to see they put the newer caps on here. Now let's pull the body off, check out what's inside. Pretty much everything that we've seen before. Buggy style chassis, low CG on here, waterproof radio box. Here's your XL5 speed controller. We've got the 12-turn Titan motor out back. That thing is a beast. I've abused those motors. They really hold up. I did notice there's a couple little changes here. The new top plate has little mounts on them, so you can go zip tie the wires down for the LED lights. I like that they cleaned up the wiring on this. That's really cool to see. There's your 7-cell battery pack, stick style battery pack, and just a really proven chassis. Love the way this thing looks. It works really well. Back here in the transmission, you got a planetary gear differential inside. I did notice that it seems like they really packed it with grease, which is really good because that's what we would do when we race Slashes, which has the same transmission. Pack the gear differential with grease, and that way it doesn't spin out so much. Nice to see they did that. We've got our slider drive shafts. It does have the Revo spec slipper clutch in here, and I did go pull the motor out. They have the pinion gear guide in here that sets the pinion gear mesh. That is really cool. It's a little plate between the motor and transmission, so I really like that they have that. And that's really about it. I mean, this is a proven car. It's a lot of fun. I've driven these. I don't think I've actually owned one. I've just driven a ton of them, and they're such a blast, even in brush mode. Great for the beginner. Let's go outside and drive it so you can see for yourself how much fun the Traxxas Bandit really is. take a quick drive while I talk about the performance. Let's do this. We've got a big dirt mound, and I've got a fully charged pack in this thing. Let's go. Yeah! I've been having a lot of fun driving this buggy. Had a great time driving it up at RC Madness, going off the jumps there on the dirt track, and then actually drove this thing in my backyard yesterday for a couple packs around on my street as well. It's just a really fun buggy to drive. Now, when the rear tires start to wear, it does get pretty loose in the rear, so you got to roll on the throttle, but other than that, it's a really easy buggy to drive. Nice jump. Pops up in the air a little bit on some of the landings. It did land on some rocks there, but it's got some understeer to it, which makes it good for people that are learning how to drive. Spins out less because of the understeer. But yeah, once those tires wear down, the rear end gets a little loose. And if you have a VXL model, it gets really loose. But they do have like the training mode and stuff in that speed controller, so you can dial it back down. But this has some pretty good power. I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely going to hit that 35 on a freshly charged pack, and it'll probably drop down to 30 or so as you run it. Yeah, oh, big crash. But man, it's been taking a lot of abuse. And look at the bottom of that chassis, all scratched up. Body's got a few cracks in it and already, but it's really just a fun car to drive. And I like the changes that they made with the LED light bars. That just sets this buggy off, gives it a fresh look for 2022. Now let's head back to the studio and wrap up this review. Let's take a final look at the Bandit. I've got a bunch of battery packs through it. Ran it up at RC Madness on the dirt track. I ran it in my backyard, ran it on the street, ran it in the dirt lot, ran it in my backyard again. So we've got a number of runs in on this thing, and I want to show you guys the wear and tear on it. One of the big things that I mentioned before is the rear tires. Once you start running this thing in the street, it just destroys these pins. So you probably want to steer away from that, because once these start to wear down, it really kills the traction when you go out on loose dirt, and this thing will want to, do donuts on you. You'll have to roll into the throttle if you do that, or get some better tires for the rear or replacement tires. But that's one thing to look out for. The other thing was I ran into an issue first time running this. The tires are coming off the rims in the front, so these need to be re-glued, and if this happens to you, it's best to just pull the car off from running it wherever immediately, clean out any dirt inside, and re-glue the tires. There's nothing wrong with the rear tires, it only happened up front. There's a small crack on the body that I noticed, and this tends to happen with buggy bodies. And let's check out the bottom here. It's pretty beat up. I think this might be a new chassis. If anybody is watching that has a bunch of Bandits, I thought they had a step chassis on the bottom. This looks like a newer slope style chassis. This is really nice chassis on this, but as you can see, it's taking a beating, especially on those rocks and stuff in that dirt parking lot. It took the abuse. You can see the scrapes up front, even on the shock tower here. These front shocks take a lot of abuse, but as you could see, it held up to it. And again, I really like these new shock caps on there. They hold up to much more abuse, and that's really about it. Nice and clean on the inside still. I did actually blow it off with some compressed air, but it's still looking pretty good on the inside. No issues with the motor. It's getting a little dirty. I should probably clean that sometime in the future. But again, this is a really fun buggy. There are option parts for it. There is a VXL model, brushless model, if you're interested in that. But I'm really liking the 2022 look with the LED lights on it and the new body graphics. Very cool buggy. I will have links in the description below. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell. Throw the video a like, and we'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.